Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. We're going to take a quick look at Fantom. And before we do, we usually look at Bitcoin, but I'll go ahead and just make a separate video altogether for that. Just know it tested 43,000, got rejected again, and it's back down to about 42.5, right in that little resistance channel. So we'll see soon, of course, what happens with that, but that's why we see a slight pullback here from Fantom. Now, before we get in here, just want you to know, if you're new to the channel, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. This is my passion. I do this every single day for a living, and I've been trading for over 15 years. So my goal is to help you become more self-sufficient, independent. I have a trading community with that specific purpose in place. Link in the description below. Check that out in your own time. We are transitioning to a website platform with a membership section that will have a trading academy for all members. So just be mindful of that. That's going to be a really cool opportunity, because I sit down and I talk in front of the camera essentially and help educate you on examples of how to be a better trader. The whole 9 yards. It's really cool. There's hours worth of content. So be on the lookout for that month in. Now with Fantom, looking at the one-day chart, we can see we're up above the 50-day simple moving average. That hasn't really came into play yet, which is great, because if we do end up losing support of 215, we'll see that come to the rescue, for lack of better terms. Not even a big deal though, because 215 is holding very strong, very steady, even in the face of all this craziness that's happened with Bitcoin recently. You think about it, November, back here in November, right here, is when Bitcoin has been selling off. Bitcoin's been going down the entire time. And Fantom, ever since December 21st, has just taken off. Okay, this is one of my top 5 picks. You can go ahead and check that out in my top 5 video if you'd like. But generally speaking, there's good fundamentals here, and I'm confident we're going to be able to hit our profit target at 316 as a community. That's our second profit target. We've already taken profits already on Fantom. Now we see a bounce off of 50 on the RSI. That's essentially that support level at 215. So really good stuff there. I think that's going to be able to hold, even if we do have a sell-off tomorrow from Bitcoin. We should see the 50-day SMA work as a strong support. It's not a terrible idea to consider dollar cost averaging into Fantom, of course, even though I do want you to set some money aside altogether, just in general, in case we do see a dip tomorrow from tomorrow's CPI data with the inflation. I think that it's important to understand that. But on the same accord, adding a little bit to your position wouldn't be terrible either, because this is a nice little average. And I think, if I'm not mistaken too, we have a decent amount of volume in this area as well. Like if you see that right there, we have the second most amount of volume right at about 227, which is kind of the floor or the bottom of where we've seen the price action the last 4 days. So a lot of heavy volume accumulation there, which is a really good sign. We like to see that. So now moving on to the 4-hour chart, let's go ahead and see what the SMAs are telling us. We're still under the 50, and we can see this little bit of rejection here. Of course, that's when Bitcoin kind of got rejected off of 43,000. And of course, we're up over the 200. All good things there. The key takeaway here is that we're up over 50 on the RSI. That's extremely important. That means we passed key level resistance, which is synonymous with right around 240 on the price action. So 240 should effectively be the new support level for Fantom if all goes well. So ultimately, we want the one-day candlestick to close above 240 to see a nice bearish push to the upside, and that would be very helpful. So all good stuff there. I also missed 2 as well. We got a MACD convergence here as well. That was yesterday evening, right around 2100. So what is that? 9 p.m. I think it would be. We had a MACD convergence. Let's just go ahead and mark that really quick, just so we can kind of see what that would look like on the 1-hour chart, and if that coalesces with the Ichimoku cloud. So I like to drive this example home a lot of times, because the Ichimoku cloud has a tendency within hours of basically working with the convergence of the MACD. So for example, when you have a MACD convergence, what that's basically telling us is that the 12-day exponential moving average is intersecting with the 26 in an upward fashion. So 12 intersecting with the 26 basically just tells us we have this shift in momentum here, right? In other words, the bears are losing control and the bulls are gaining control. And that's all the MACD is telling us. It's a good indication, though. It really helps us understand that we're on the right side of the tracks, right? So that's the whole practice I like to preach with my trading community, my team, and everything. It's just to make sure that you understand that you have to have confirmation when you're moving in, in either direction. Okay, so if you're going short, obviously you want confirmation you're bearish, bullish for the upside. Now, that being said, the Ichimoku cloud is really good about telling us if we've crossed a specific threshold. So if we see this cloud here, this little red, you'll see that obviously the price is above that. So within the last 3 hours, we broke above the cloud, giving us a buy signal, okay? And the fact that we just had a MACD convergence roughly about 8 hours ago is equally as important. So that being said, we're in very, very good shape here to see Fantom continue with that sentiment alone. Furthermore, we also have higher highs and higher lows here. You can see this as well. And we just have this slight drawback, of course, from Bitcoin selling off. Now, keep this in mind. Bitcoin is, Fantom is not completely 100% broken free from Bitcoin, at least on the very short term, if you will, right? Because obviously that sell-off has affected that Fantom, okay? Now, this happens a lot, even with coins that are synonymous or independent of Bitcoin. A major sell-off from Bitcoin, it instills a little bit of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. More short positions open, the leverage, all that stuff. It has a factor in the big picture, and that affects coins like this, right? So by no means are we just, Fantom to the moon tomorrow, okay? You gotta realize that. So reality check, we're not in the clear yet. But according to the Ishimoku Cloud, lagging span is free of clear of any price action. The conversion lines above the baseline. We're above the cloud itself. We've literally got all good signs, and this just occurred here a moment ago. So the likelihood of Fantom increasing versus decreasing from here is very high, right? So again, all sentiment alone, if you take Bitcoin out of the equation, Fantom should effectively continue to increase for some time. That's what the cloud's telling us. That's why I love it. It's a good conservative indication telling us we're finally on the right side of the tracks there. We're free and clear, and we should essentially be able to take a position and comfortably take some profit in the near future. Now, how long that will last is hard to say. If we have a Bitcoin sell-off tomorrow morning, we go down below 40,000 or 42,000, anything, something crazy, right? Sub 40,000 would be crazy. 40,500 is essentially the major key level support for Bitcoin right now. If we pass below 40,500 for Bitcoin, you can bet your butt that none of this will really matter all that much, right? That's another reason why I would recommend maybe a tight stop loss. Just say, for example, you jump in right now and you have a profit target right around the Fibonacci retracement level here. Hypothetically, that'd be an 8% gain. Not bad, by the way, for a day trade. That's actually very, very good. Say you were to have that as your target, have a tighter stop loss in place. Maybe something right around here, around 4 or 5%, just say at 240. The next major Fibonacci retracement level, in case the price comes back down, heaven forbid you get stopped out, but you could literally 2x your gains there on a very likely scenario, right? So those are the kind of plays I like to make if I'm going to do, something short term, so to speak. But Fantom has very good, I guess you could say, metrics here right now, and it's looking very good in this sense alone. Now, looking at TD sequential, we are at a 6 right now as well. So bear in mind, we have roughly about 3 to 7 hours worth left of bullish momentum to the upside. Okay, so Fantom is doing very well, still has gas left in the tank, so to speak. Again, pending Bitcoin doesn't drop off another 1 or 2%, because it did have just a 1% correction. That's what we're seeing right here. If we see that again, we can see that key level support level tested right away. Okay. Again, just some things you want to be mindful of. Don't be ignorant of Bitcoin, because it's definitely the elephant in the room we need to acknowledge and respect. But at this point, all things considered, Fantom is showing us pretty much every single bullish indication it wants to go to the upside, which is why I'm confident that as a community, we're going to be able to hit our profit target that we pretty much already tentatively hit with one exchange, just not the others. So that being said, we are in good shape to continue. Feel free to let it ride if you have a position open. Consider taking a short-term day trade, perfectly fine. Just bear in mind, we could experience a pullback tomorrow, and if we do, don't be surprised. Hate to say I told you so. Bitcoin could effectively break 40,500 to the downside if we see some pretty ridiculous news tomorrow. Okay. So that being said, I hope you found benefit here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you're not currently a member, consider subscribing, because we have swing trades and day trades like this all the time. I share every single trade that I take with my members. It's a really awesome experience. And of course, Trading Academy rolling out month in. I'm super jazzed about that because I'm almost finished putting the finishing touches on it. We just got to get this website up and running, and I'm working with web developers right now to get that as robust as possible to have that available. If nothing else, just at least the membership section at the end of the month. So bear in mind, that will happen soon. Looking forward to it. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you again soon. Thanks again for your time.